Hello everybody, and special mention to Chris Stevens, one of my subscribers who I bumped into at the model engineering show at Alexandra Palace last Friday. Very nice to meet you, have a chat. Haven't really been doing much that could be videoed. Lately I've been really making an effort to get the workshop into some vague semblance of order. And I'm going to do a little piece on welding helmets, but I'll just show you the new workbench. I've had a top for a while. It's an 8-foot by 3-foot cast iron surface plate. Judging by the ribbing on the back, it's not an engineering plate, it's probably from the printing industry. But I picked this up on eBay for I think £60. I guess not that many people have got the facility to move it because it's about half a ton, and it's been stood up against a wall in the lean-to outside, and I've been tripping over the half-built frame parts for a while, so I thought it's about time I put it together. And I didn't video the rigging, which is a good thing because I broke nearly all the good rigging practices and it was a bit of a nightmare job, but I'm still here, still have all the limbs attached, nothing else was damaged, and it was probably scarier looking than it was actually dangerous. But I'll just pop the camera off and give you a quick look-see. So it's really nice, substantial bench. You can see the planing marks in. It still needs a bit more cleaning up. It picked up rather more surface rust than I would have liked. I haven't worked out how I'm going to get vices and such attached to it. Whether I'm going to come up with some kind of clamping arrangement or whether it might just get a drilled and tapped bolt pattern and become a maxi pallet rather than one of Tom Lipton of Ox Tools mini pallets. And the frame was welded up from salvaged central heating pipe from where I work when they did a refit, and I salvaged quite a lot of this. And the little casters down here are from a computer tape library, and the library actually probably weighed more than this does, and I don't know if you can see back here, but it's even got little rubber block suspension. But anyway, it's a fabulous new bench, and we'll just get got the dehumidifier vibrating. It's going to be a little bit annoying. But I'll just pop you back on the tripod and I'll talk briefly about the welding helmets. Okay, well, on the bench here is my selection of welding helmets, and when I bought my I've had a number of welding helmets over the years. And this is my Old Faithful, which is a Jackson Products Lansec Translite, which I think was my second auto darkening. The first one was, I can't even remember what it was. It did serve me for quite a long time, but became unreliable. This is pretty good. It's nice and lightweight. It's a very flexible shell. It's incredibly flexible in fact, so it's quite good at standing up to drops in a cold workshop and not cracking. The usual sensitivity and shade adjustment on the inside. It's a fairly decent helmet. Now this is an ultra cheapie. These were selling up at one of the Stafford bike shows for £25. I think it's a Nielsen is the brand. Except this wasn't a £25 helmet, this was a £15 helmet, because you can get the light in here, the battery cover was missing, but fortunately, even with the cover missing, the batteries are nice and secure, they've never fallen out, and in some ways this is nicer than the other one because it has the shade adjustment external, and the headband arrangement, it clamps to my head securely. It doesn't, you know, some of these, the friction mechanism is no good and they're just always falling down, but those have been perfectly reasonable. And just to reassure the people who were scared of the cheap stuff, I mean, I've checked the UV blockage, and all of these helmets, they block UV all the time, and the auto darkening is the visible light, and you won't damage your eyes if they don't auto darken. Your blink response will force you to shut your eyes and look away, and you may get some after images, but they're not going to do you any harm. You know, if you were really stubborn and persisted in staring at an arc and the helmet hadn't darkened, you may get some after images for 2 or 3 days, and long term that isn't good for your eyes, but it's not going to do any you know, really serious damage. But this helmet defaults to dark, and it's dark now rather than light like the other ones, and you have to turn it on. It's got an on button and then an auto off. This has got an inbuilt battery plus the solar, and I always try and leave it near the window. This has also got a little bit of solar to back up the photovoltaic, I should say, since it's light, not sunlight. But both of these have only got 2 light sensors, and I actually think the cheap one is slightly better than the more expensive one. I think I paid £100 for this. This has got the sensors out near the top corners. This has got them a little way in, and quite often I'll find that I'm shading enough of the arc that from the mask that it won't auto darken, which, particularly if you're welding in poorly lit conditions, means that you do get after images that mean you can't see the next bit of welding. So I was looking at, and also the view on these isn't the biggest, so I've bought myself an Anothe helmet. Many of you will have seen Double Boost's videos, and he's been reviewing the Anothe TIG, plasma cutter, and the MIG. I've got an Anothe MIG, a 160 amp model. It's not a model they do anymore, but it's a decent enough machine. I know their products are pretty good, and this was just about the biggest viewing pane I could get for any kind of money, really. They don't think, I couldn't find anything bigger. I could find things about the same, and it's got 4 sensors, which was, again, is one of the features I was looking for, was the big viewing area and the sensors. Again, solar down the bottom, replaceable battery, and this one's got a few more features as well. Let's see if I can get you in here and get a little bit difficult to see. It's got a grind option, so you can lock it into the light shade, so that you can use it as grinding goggles. You've got sensitivity and shade and a delay. Shade is something I like to have external, but it does mean wiring this removable insert panel to an external control, and it's not something that hugely bothers me. But I bought this plus spare external and internal protective lenses, and including delivery it cost me about £80, and I shall be trying that out shortly.